Am I the jerk for making my husband leave after he visited his ex to make her feel better? I'm 32F and my husband is 38M, and we've been married for 3 years now. We've had good times and bad times, but mostly we're pretty happy together. But when we first started dating 5 years ago, he was also seeing Angela, who's 24. FI was unaware of this other relationship, but when I found out, I confronted him, and he told me that since we weren't officially dating, he didn't know we were exclusive. I told him that if he didn't cut off this relationship with Angela, I was going to break it off. We left it at that, and we didn't talk for a while. Then he came to my apartment unexpectedly weeks later, saying it was over with Angela and that he wanted to try again and asked me to be his girlfriend. Ever since then, we have been a pretty normal couple. We have our moments, but our relationship is going good, and I believe he is my soulmate. Recently, there's been an issue in our relationship though, Angela. 3 weeks ago, we were out running errands and went to a small boba shop that had just opened up next to our local grocery store. As we were off to the side looking at the menu, from the corner of my eye, I saw a woman that looked similar to Angela walk in. I did a double take, and sure enough, it was her. I froze, my heart racing as I watched her scan the room. Time seemed to slow while I silently prayed she wouldn't spot us at our table. Unfortunately, her voice pierced through the ambient noise, calling out to him. They exchanged stilted pleasantries while I mentally retreated, fixing my gaze on nothing until she acknowledged my existence. My husband simply nodded, intertwining our fingers as I forced an uncomfortable smile, silently willing this encounter to end. We queued behind her, my embarrassment overwhelming as we hastily grabbed our drinks and fled. 2 weeks passed before his phone illuminated with a Facebook notification. When questioned, he claimed it was from someone I wouldn't recognize. My suspicions grew until days later. While ordering takeout on his device, another message appeared from Angela. Their conversation appeared innocent enough, yet their shared history made me deeply uncomfortable. During our confrontation, he admitted she'd contacted him after our chance meeting. Despite his reassurances, I demanded he cease all communication and remove her from his contacts. His reluctance was palpable, but he complied. Peace lasted until she bombarded him with messages and tearful calls about her mother's illness. Apparently familiar with her family, he felt compelled to offer support. She pleaded for companionship, claiming isolation, and he agreed. I discovered his intentions only when I caught him preparing to leave. Our disagreement escalated quickly. I positioned myself between him and the exit, declaring that visiting his former lover meant forfeiting his return. He dismissed my ultimatum and departed. 3 hours crawled by as I nursed several drinks, fighting tears and the urge to contact him. Upon his return, I informed him he couldn't stay. His shock sparked another dispute. He claimed nowhere else to go, prompting my suggestion he seek Angela's hospitality since they seemed mutually supportive. He left again, and silence followed. Morning brought no communication. His location remained disabled since yesterday. By afternoon, I'd called in sick, existing in a haze of confusion and worry. 8 days elapsed before resolution. He returned while I watched television, our eyes meeting wordlessly. After showering, he slept while I maintained distance. Hours later, over dinner's heavy silence, he offered explanation. According to him, she'd sent friend requests immediately after our encounter, which he'd ignored until her messages grew desperate, including threats of self-harm. Their exchanges revealed her struggles with addiction and mental health, plus her involvement with a 51-year-old boyfriend. She'd manipulated him repeatedly through crisis fabrication. That night, she'd claimed an OD attempt, prompting his rushed departure. Upon arrival, her behavior seemed theatrical. When he insisted on medical attention, she admitted lying about the pills, claiming desperation for support regarding her mother. Doubting even the illness claim, he departed, spending hours in his vehicle before returning home. Overwhelmed, I requested space and stayed with family for a week, falling ill immediately. Trust felt impossible. Even without physical betrayal, emotional boundaries were shattered. Divorce seemed extreme, yet staying felt unbearable. An Instagram message from an anonymous account arrived, a screenshot from what appeared to be Angela's private posts, featuring provocative imagery with vindictive captions about tasting her presence through his kisses. His shower upon returning seemed suspicious given his claim of merely driving around. The disabled tracking, the timeline inconsistencies, nothing aligned convincingly. Even accepting his version revealed troubling patterns, overlapping relationships during our early dating, maintaining contact despite my discomfort, prioritizing her manufactured crises over our marriage, leaving me distraught while comforting her. Work became my refuge until mysterious prank calls began, screaming followed by disconnection. These evolved into hourly complaints about my performance from unidentifiable callers. My employer initially dismissed them as harassment, but eventually terminated me when they persisted despite my absence. I suspected Angela's involvement, which my husband vehemently denied, calling me paranoid. I confronted him that night, but his defensiveness only confirmed my suspicions.